Let's try this once more. Okay, apparently, okay, there we go. Live on there. Twitch is apparently lagging behind, but I'll just go here. Aha, there we go. Online on everything. Right, let's come back here and do this. Refresh. Still not showing on cast.live, which is weird. Let's see if I tap on play. Still nothing. Anyway, yeah, I'll just go ahead and get started. So, hello, current live viewer or future replay viewer. This is an idea for a program that's called Currently. And the idea here is to basically, have a look at stuff that's going on, current events, and have a look at how, what options or how CryptoSolve looks to solve it. Whether it's just, technically, on a sort of broader level, or oh, hey, here's an actual project that's actually looking into this specific problem. So, without further ado, I'll just jump right into it. So, yeah, I felt like this is actually quite a nice and fitting one to start off with, given that, yeah, we just started this new year. And, yeah, crypto is about money, and, money is super important. Yeah. And, yeah, so, again, the idea is to sort of, address an audience who, I suppose, traditionally would not be directly inclined to give crypto a sort of a look in, for a number of reasons. One, I don't know, they're just too busy, or they feel like it's too complicated, kind of thing. So yeah, the idea is to just sort of cover news which they would otherwise be interested in, but with a slant towards actually communicate, hey, like crypto fundamentally does this, and the levels of technical understanding or ability is actually varies. You could have very little technical know-how and still be able to make a difference, and to think about your future and to secure it. So anyway, Savvy Woman's £5 saving challenge could mean you'll have 1,500 by the end of 2021. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure why they use pounds when they're referring to an Australian mom, because unless I'm really mistaken, they use dollars, Australian dollars in Australia. But anyway, beside the point. So one mom in Australia decided to put away roughly 6 notes a week, which added up to the hefty sum as the weeks and months went by. So I'm not going to sort of go into every single detail here. I'll just, in a way, skim through it and highlight some interesting stuff and the technique that she sort of employed or deployed. What's the expression? So saving money each month isn't easy, especially after the events of 2020. But one mom's clever trick could mean that your quid's income next December. Talking to Australian Facebook group Mums Who Budget and Save, the woman revealed her clever trick and admitted she got the idea from social media last year. So this is someone who basically started in beginning of 2020 and did it all the way through. Basically, she confirmed that she'd saved roughly that amount, which is almost that amount in pounds, by simply keeping a hold of fivers given in change and putting them away. Now, this, while interesting, and putting them away, isn't particularly practical, especially given that we're still sort of experiencing this pandemic thing, and we're not dealing in cash a lot right? So perhaps a different implementation of like, little bits of change that you have gradually, putting that away. But there's actually a bigger and not a bigger, a better sort of breakdown of how to possibly do this further down in the article. She wrote on a post, just wanted to share. I got this idea from here last year. From here, as in from this particular publication. That's interesting. She wrote on a post, just wanted to share that. Okay. I kept every single $5 note. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that makes more sense because it's Australia. That I received from the 1st of January 2020 until today, the 31st of December 2020. It's amazing how they add up. She saved that amount of money. She was putting away roughly 6 notes a week, which added up to the hefty sum as time went on. Of course, it's pretty straightforward for Brits to do the same. You just use a £5 note. Right, notes instead. That I don't think that's a woman. That's just a stock image. Right, so let's move on. By the end of the year, saving for work well, cash after simple. It comes after the simple 365 money challenge claimed it can help you save. Okay, I have no idea what simple 365 is, but sort of, I don't know, it sounds like a maybe conflating it with the bet 365 or something. Anyway, those who start at the beginning of 21 could end up having, a decent amount of savings by the end of the year. But for it to work well, you should start paying for things in cash where possible. Again, as I said, the pandemic makes it a little bit difficult right now. Every day is more. On Sundays, you're required to set aside daily savings. Okay, yeah. So now, yeah, this is a bit where it's actually where it's broken down in a practical way. So on Sundays, you're required to set aside about £1 and increase your daily savings by an extra £1 for the following days of the week. So add £2 on Monday, then £3 on Tuesday, £4 on Wednesday, and so on. Oh, then when you get back to Sunday again, the amount you'll need to save resets, and you go back to £1. Apparently, according to Apartment Therapy, you can save £28 by doing this over the course of a week, right? So now take that, multiply by 4, and then multiply by 12, and excuse me, that it adds up like pretty quickly. Well, this may not seem like much. It allows you to set aside a grand total of, well, that's actually quite a bit of money. £1,456 annually. And that's pretty much it. That's the end of the article. Nice, short and sweet. Now I thought it would be interesting to put this into context, right? So this person saved up. Tell you what, I'll just copy this. Copy. This person saved up that much by the end of the year. Now, if we were to go into a thing that would actually let us figure out, right? Because again, the idea here is to recontextualize all of this through the crypto lens, right? So this is a widget on or created by CoinStats. And it's really helpful. I use the app, the native app. And it just helps sort of contextualize stuff over time. So here you've got if I invest or if I invested, if you just selected changes to the other. So if I invested and then if you came here, I'll tell you what, shall I change? I'll leave it as dollars. Shall I? Yeah, we could just quickly change it down here. Actually, USD, GBP. There we go. Aha. Right. Then paste. So we're gonna paste in the amount that she actually at the end of the year saved up. And then yeah, we can select different crypto currencies here, right? So we can go into, we start with the most famous one, the most obvious one, right? Bitcoin, and then select a date. Let's see. So that's the date today. Let's say let's actually, okay, we'll do it two different ways, right? So we'll skip back like one day to yesterday. Okay. My heart sort of dropped for a moment there. I thought it was actually going to not prove the point that I'm trying to prove here. But anyway, it did. So, you've got an appreciation of what's that, 7, yeah, so basically over £10, right? Or 11 technically. Yeah, and that's just like going back one day, right? So keeping in mind inflation, deflation, fiat currencies like the pound, the dollar are inflating, whereas cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin or ADA are actually deflationary, right? So if we just come back here and say, actually, we'll keep it Bitcoin for now, Bitcoin, and then we'll change the date, right? We'll go to the beginning of December 2020, and there you already have like close to £400. No, what am I talking about? More than 400 is like £600, close to 700, right? So it goes from 1,456 to 2,162, right, in appreciation. And of course, Bitcoin's volatile, right? Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, over the long arc of time, it trends upward, right? As opposed to fiat currencies, which trend downward with inflation, which simply means your money buys less and less as time sort of goes by. Okay, so now if I invested that much in Cardano on the 12th, was that December the 1st? Yeah. Interesting. Okay, so now obviously the gains from Bitcoin to Cardano have not manifested or transferred yet. However, if we were to, let's say, go all the way back up to like January, right? January 2020, and say we invested the stated amount, right? By the end, by now, bloody hell, that is crazy. So if you invested £1,456 at the beginning of 2020, it would now be worth £7,000, close to £8,000, like rounded up, £8,000 basically, right? So that's like a whole £7,000 worth of appreciation, right? I mean, that just it speaks to it delivers a point. I don't need to harp on that any longer. So yeah, so this is the gist of what the hell I'm talking about here, right? So inflation, deflation. Yeah, key takeaway here is take your productive output, right, which takes a form of your money, and put it in an environment or in a container which actually retains its value at the worst, right, and at best it actually appreciates in value. So here we've got inflation, right, which is fiat, here illustrated by the dollar. So you've got $20 in 1929, bought you all that stuff in 1960, same amount, $20, bought you fewer things. In 2014, same $20 buys you like 2 or 3 items. And then, as a joke in 2020, or, the $20 buys you a cardboard box home. And then the opposite here, with crypto or Bitcoin specifically here, but the same could be said for most sort of solid cryptos. So you've got one Bitcoin 2012 buying you the equivalent of what you could buy, say, in 2014, which is 2 or 3 items. And then a year later, it buys you what the dollar could buy you in 1960. And then a year after that, one Bitcoin still in 2014 buys you all the stuff and more that you could buy in 1929. Right, and then 2020, just go crazy. But then that's obviously, this is 6 years after, right? So like, the amount actually changes considerably, right? So that's pretty much the essence of what I wanted to communicate with that one. And more of these to come. Actually, the idea is just to keep experimenting and sort of shooting out ideas. And so if you watch this and you thought any of these programs are interesting, we're still sort of in alpha phase, and I'm just sort of experimenting with these. And the idea here is just to experiment, have them out, iterate, and then gradually start to test like 24-hour stuff. And the idea is to gradually build up a way of working, creating content of value that reaches out to different demographics and stuff. So if you find this interesting, head over to cast.live and join the add the calendar to yours. And so you can actually be able to prioritize it in terms of being able to have an insight into what programming is sort of being scheduled. Again, it's alpha phase, so like some stuff will be on the calendar which won't actually end up being broadcast on that particular time. Stuff might get moved around. But if any of this is of interest to you, just head on over, in a sort of truly decentralized nature, because most of these notifications on these different platforms aren't really reliable, right? So head on over to cast.live, CAAAST.live, and there's a little calendar thing. Tap on it, and whatever device you're on, it'll sort of present you with the options. Then just add it, and then on your whatever calendar you use, because chances are you do have an online calendar, because if you're viewing this, whatever platform required you to have an email or something to sign up to it, and that email, attached to that email address is a calendar. And also on whatever device you're using, chances are it has a calendar on it. So do that, and hopefully I shall catch you at some point in the future live.